Buonasera e benvenuto in Camel Trophy Chat. Mi chiamo Chris Hewitt. Good evening and welcome to Camel Trophy Chat. My name is Chris Hewitt, and today in our 5th episode we are joined by Team Italia. It's my pleasure and honor to introduce Matteo Ghiazza, represented Team Italy in Camel Trophy Sabah, Malaysia, 1993. Gianpaolo Giusti, Camel Trophy Kalimantan, 1996. Paolo Lagomarsino, participant in Camel Trophy Special Italia, Cameroon, 1989. Matteo Poli, who represented Italy in Camel Trophy 2000, crossing the Pacific from Tonga to Samoa. And Francesco Rapisarda, press officer for Camel Trophy for many years.
Yes.
And last but not least, Carlo Rinaldi, who represented Italy in Camel Trophy in Africa, Tanzania, Burundi, 1991. Good evening, everybody. Ciao.
Thanks. Ciao.
Ciao a tutti.
Perhaps I will start with Rapi. Rapi, Italy has a long history with Camel Trophy. Team Italy participated in every event from 1982 to the year 2000 and won the Camel Trophy 3 times. My question is, what makes Italians so good at Camel Trophy?
It's a good question. I think, the Italian have always been defined as a people of poets, artists, heroes, saints, thinkers, navigators, and travelers. So I believe these really are the Italians. If we think about it, these are the value of adventure, of discovery, in other words, the Camel Trophy. So in Italy, perhaps more than in other countries, the Camel Trophy has gone beyond the concept of a promotional event and thus became a real cultural and trendy phenomenon, I guess. In Italy, the success of Camel Trophy in the 80s and 90s in particular was something really, really special. Just to have an idea, every year we receive between 40 and 50,000 requests to participate. And let's not forget that in those years, there was no social network. So I think it was something really, really, really special, let me say. So every year, over 3 million of stickers were printed, and there wasn't a car that didn't have it in Italy. I think this is unbelievable. This is part of our culture, The event in Italy has always had also a very important echo in media coverage. At the final event, for example, I have always had guests some of the most important journalists and signature from the front pages of the most important Italian newspapers, such as Corriere della Sera, Repubblica, Giornale, and others. In addition to national television channels, which have always given space to the news, but not only as a sporting event, but as a real cultural and current news. And that was make a big difference, I think, with other similar promotional events. So Camel Trophy was a kind of, kind of status. And also the value and the capacity of the participant has always been very, very high. We could choose from a huge number of requests, and it was very easy to have the best of the best in the final event. Well, honestly, looking at the screen today, I have some doubt about the best of the best. Of course, I'm joking.
Almost.
Okay, I'm joking. I know very well Carlo, Matteo, Gianpaolo, Paolo, and Matteo, and I know all of them perfectly represent the Italian Camel Trophista. So they are enthusiastic, they are positive, they are brave, fun, and of course, out of the ordinary. As you can see, everyone are different, everyone are special, but everyone are real camel trophista. Special, of course, because to participate in Camel Trophy, you still have to be special, and all of them are really special. So, by the way, the results I got in the various editions of Camel Trophy can definitely confirm my theory. I think I won for 3 times Camel Trophy, and to be part of the event since the beginning, I think is something very important for this event and for all the Italian Camel Trophists.
Thank you, Rappi. Matteo Ghiazza, Rappi has said some nice things about you. Perhaps you could tell us a little bit about your event in Sabah, Malaysia in 1993, particularly kind of, that is the classic idea of Camel Trophy in the jungle. Perhaps you could tell us a little bit about the challenge of the jungle and the driving, the recovery, and the survival in the jungle.
Yeah, we had a lot of jungle in Sabah, Malaysia, and a lot of mud, a lot of rain. And what was really special in that Camel Trophy, we built probably more than 20 bridges, because every time we had to cross a river that wasn't expected to be there, or it was expected to be there, and so we had big logs to prepare the bridge. But anyway, it was always a big job of bridge building. But in Italy, we have the long tradition since centuries of bridge building, so we made it. And the best experience in that year for me, it was one night that we spent it driving through the jungle. We were really lucky. We were the first car. We had the marshal in the back and everybody in the back. We were the first car to cross for maybe 20, 30 kilometers in the jungle. It took all night to do it. And we had to drive with one guy sitting on the car in front, or walking in front of the car, just to see where we could drive in the night. And it was really a special experience, almost for everybody, except for the car of the Dutch guys that break the windscreen the day before. And so they had like this of insects inside the car in the morning when you arrived at the end of the part of the jungle we were crossing. That was pretty fun for us, not for them. It was a lot of driving through the jungle for 15 days. Was really nice and tough and interesting. It was a Camel Trophy, in fact.
Gianpaolo, you had a jungle experience as well. Your Camel Trophy was not far away from Matteo's. I have heard a story that you were at the top of the leaderboard and you were going to win, or you might have had a chance to win Camel Trophy, but you stopped to help another team Greece. I wonder if you could explain what happened, and perhaps you could explain a little bit about Camel Trophy spirit.
Please don't start from this event, because it was one of the first tasks that we did at the beginning in Balikpapan. And as you know, very often happen that in the tasks there are team built as a group, and we were grouped with Greece. And Greece, we knew from the selection, and they were very strong. In fact, they won the Camel Trophy. But in that particular task, unfortunately, one of them was there is a cross. You must cross a piece of mud, very deep, like a swamp. And one of the Greece guy thinks to go without the pulley. So it was a a rope and just with a hook without a pulley. So in the middle of the crossing, the rope make a big V, and he doesn't have the power to continue to cross and falling down. So he falling down. The rules of the task is that he must come back and redo. And when it was my time, I fit the pulley, so I was crossing the river. But I saw this guy that was always more going down, and I saw that he was smiling, but it was a very strange smile. I called him, Miltos, what was going on? And he doesn't answer. So I understood that was in a very dangerous situation. So I have to falling down and save him. And so the task was bad, but it was the only task that agrees wrong. And we were not very lucky in this particular task. But at the end, I have the special task, the oral position. We are four there after France, Greece, and Russia. And okay, but the Camel Trophy for us, and I think also with my friend, was a very fantastic experience, like a wonderful trip in a place particularly nice. The Borneo is very wild region. I can propose, if you want, that we can redo exactly the same maps, because I have the radar, original radar, so we can do again. If we have some money, it's a very easy from Balikpapan to Pontianak. The only little issue that is Jan Chapman already wrote at the beginning, that this route book is not a complete comprehensive record of Camel Trophy 96. It does not contain a meter by meter account of the route to be followed. This because we discovered during the travel that they did the point with the helicopter. And in 96, the GPS was not so precise. So we are in the middle of the jungle without any route, because the internal of Borneo is completely wild, and was very funny one way, but very hard moment. And in the word of Matteo, I can confirm that we have a lot of rain every day, a huge rain. We have mud everywhere. And as you know, the Borneo is the river is from the north of the south, and our travel is from east to the west. So the timing was during the day, you travel until you reach a river, you mount the raft unit, you have to cross during the night 38 cars from one side to the other, then pack back on the raft unit on the Discovery and go on. So in the middle of the event, we never sleep. We just sleep an hour during from one car and another. It was a very nice and heavy event. But the good things is that we had a very nice experience also with my teammate Christian. That was a fantastic person, but also the others. We are in touch with all of them of the 96th edition. We have a chat where we chat every day, and we did a very nice meeting. The first that we did was in 2016 in Greece, arranged by Nikos Sotirkos. And then in 2019, we met in Rome. So we found after 20 years, in the event, we were very concerned. We never met before after 20 years. And so when we met, we discovered that we are like a real family, maybe because the selection was done by particular kind of mind, and we found as a family. So we merged our family with the others, and it was a very nice experience, also in Greece and in Rome. But if you want, I can tell more, but I don't want to steal space to my friend here.
Well, maybe we will move on to Carlo, because Matteo and Gianpaolo, you've both told us about mud, and so I hear, Carlo, there was a special type of mud on your Camel Trophy, the black cotton mud.
Black cotton. Yeah.
Perhaps you could tell us a little bit about your experience in Africa.
In Africa, it's the same. Maybe it's better. Black cotton, we start after 3 days, and to find that, and then for the first car is through the black cotton, and then it's damage all the road or other thing, and with the other group where we are with our car, it's impossible go in the front. We are 5 days below in after 8 days, and many special tasks in the middle are stopped, not made it, because we are two group in the middle of the Camel Trophy. I think after 5 days, my opinion was I can make a puller, a truck. I forget my English now. I think I use many times the winch, and it's impossible for us forget the use the winch now. And we winch, we pull, we slip, we eat, we winch, pull, and for 5 days. I was very tired for this. It's impossible.
Carlo, you have a particular relationship with your Land Rover. You would have left it behind in 1991 and never see it again, but you've done something different.
I see my car in 92 in Italian selection, in 93 international selection, and until 95. And then Italian Camel Trophy Reynolds to send my Discovery 91, and I know who buy that, and then I found that in 2016 I buy that again for the first time. I work 14, sorry. I work 2 days for build there and remake all the thing, because it was same Flintstone car. No have, the rusty is everywhere, because I think for 3 or 4 years was under the rain or other thing. And then in 2016, I met you in Spain, and I come with my Camel Trophy car, and then I make a little restoration for the under the engine, and I forget. Come si dice telaio? I forget.
Frame.
Because I break the frame in the middle, and I must repair it. And now it's ready to start again. the car. Because
back to Tanzania, maybe?
maybe, why not?
It's better in the next Camel Trophy reunion.
Yeah, absolutely.
More safe.
I'm waiting to see to be in come si dice pensione?
Retired.
Retired. Ecco.
Retirement.
I wait 3 years maybe, and then I want to start everywhere in the world where it's possible, if it's possible.
In 3 years, maybe it will be possible.
I think I hope
We hope
for
so.
I hope for everybody, because everybody's
Yeah.
talking in their own counter. What's happened? Borneo. Bella roba.
Okay.
Accesso-
Let's go to Paolo now, because Paolo has a slightly different story of Camel Trophy that isn't very well known outside of Italy, and there are some tremendous adventures that are not heard about internationally. So Paolo, could you tell me about your involvement in Camel Trophy, please?
Yes. In 1988 and 1989, 1990, in Italy, we organized, or better, Camel Trophy Italia organized a special event just for Italian team, because as Rapisarda said before me, the candidates was 40,000, 50,000 for years. The theme of camel was great, similar or superior to African nominate African race, Safari Dakar or other race in Africa, and Camel Trophy Italia organized this free events to complete the Italian selection. For each event, there was all the region, all the 20 Italian region that race on in a mini Camel Trophy with the same car, with the same rule of international Camel Trophy International. I was fortunately selected for Liguria with Paolo Siccardi, that's done Camel Trophy Amazonas in 89. And I remember everything of these 22 days in Cameroon, because for me, was the first real adventure. I was 20 years old, and Paolo Siccardi, 24, was the first time that I leave Europe, and absolutely the first time that I visit Africa with Camel Trophy. Was great. And I remember, I can speak for 2-3 hours if you want, but I think that we don't have time to explain everything. But the first time that I remember of this was the phone of Camel Trophy, an employee of Camel Trophy Italia, Martina, that called me and said, Paolo, what are you doing in February? You are right for you are free for Camel Trophy, and I have to sit in a chair, because in an emotion, it was an emotion very hard. But in Cameroon, we arrived in Douala, and we take all the team take a Land Rover 110, and we drive 2 days after arriving in Douala. We drive immediately to our camp that it was 300, if I remember right, Francesco, 300 kilometers from Douala.
Yeah, so 350. Yes.
Yes. In the first time of this event, all the 20 teams participated to the selection. In Cameroon, only the first 8 teams, after 3 days of selection, physical, mechanical, and guide, went to do the Camel Special Italia. We drive from Elombe in the south of Douala, in direction south to Guinea, Equatorial Guinea, and then to the inside of the Cameroon to Bolua, and we come back to Elombe. Two moments I remember hard. One day, one night we sleep in a clear area near a river, and the next morning at 7:30 we started to build a bridge to cross a river, because the rain had carried away the old bridge, and we had to do a track or 50, 20, 25, 30 kilometers in the jungle, but it was very hard. The jungle was in the track, had completely covered the track, and we make turns with the machete by foot to clean to go ahead. But after 10 hours, 11 hours, we will done 7-8 kilometers maximum. We decided to come back. It's impossible to go away, and we come back. And when we come back, we have to done. I remember we have to cross another river, and we have the waters to inside the car. All our baggage is come si dice, bagnati?
Wet and floating on the car.
Wet and floating, everything, and we have to come back because we have to do 200 kilometers before reaching the camp. The first bridge that we have built in the morning was already unsafe with the passage of the 13 cars. And then we went over the first Land Rover. The bridge make us understand that we needed to reinforce it. And we left the game. It was dark. The humpback track was slippery, and the tardiness so great. One of the last teams get distracted, and it was so dark. It takes the tangent of the curve, and it flies into the jungle at 18 kilometers per hour. And it points forwards, and it would. But the problem is that we only when we got to the camp, we realized that the car was missing. And we come back to look for them, but we have some problem to look them. When we found them, was night, and a few stitches in the body, and we come back at 3 o'clock without dinner. It was a long day, a long day. And another point that I remember is when finally we arrived in a small city, Bolua, and we stop near the roadside in a football pitch to sleep, to have our camp, and we finally had the time to wash and to eat our beloved pasta. Okay, and but this is what we do. I remember that I washed myself 2 days before at the end of a mud pit, throwing myself dressed in a river, immediately I come back to the car to drive. But when we arrived in this football pitch, arrived a short time passed, and the military truck reached us with an unfriendly attitude. They all went down with the Kalashnikov, and everyone, each one in the hands, and they had mistaken us for a soldier or a spy. I don't know, because the color of our clothes.
Let me tell something about this, Paolo, because
yes.
There were journalists following the Camel Trophy Special Italia during the event, international event, and the road was across a military zone, and some journalists, they took some pictures in the wrong place, so that was the cause for the reaction of the military, and the result was to spend some of us some night in jail, and all the films from the photographer were took it off. So there was a journalist. What else?
Yes, and our boss fortunately advised us, and we took the camera of the journalist and with American tape on the frame, and take to the police our camera, because it was most important for journalists than our. And for me, it was an important, an important event, and as Gianpaolo said, Paolo Sicardi, that I met in Camel Trophy. I don't know Paolo before. Now is one of my best friends. I travel with him, and our family is very very close. Okay.
Thank you very much, Paolo. And I just wonder, just one more question for you, because in 1989, you had proper Land Rovers, and then later on they started using the Discovery, which is not a real Land Rover. And I was wondering if you had any mechanical problems.
We don't have any mechanical problem with our team, but we have a good organizer of the race. We go fast, but we had ever an attention of our Land Rover. And normally we arrived at the end of days, third, fourth, sometimes second, just for in the two last special task where we use Land Rover with his limits, and we arrived second. Other teams use the Land Rover in the first task with as a Panzer, and they broke. Yes, sometimes they broke, but we don't have any problem.
I am, of course, joking about Discovery not being a real Land Rover, but Carlo, you found a weakness, a problem with the Discovery, the windscreens. You had problems with the windscreen. Could you tell me what happened?
Well, that was in Guyana, 92, when I drive with a support car. In 91 in Tanzania, no problem for my disco, nothing. I maybe flat the one wheels and stop it. The problem was for the Germany and for the Spanish, and broken the engine and broken the clutch. What I think. In 92, I don't see the trees. If you go to YouTube, you can see everything. And I was the first to throw in that position, because my photographer was to be all the time in the good place for make a good shot. And we drive always for the first time. The day before, I fall down in a jumping 2 meters maybe down in a street, and I broke all the right sides in the front, and then I made it a arrangement, and I make a new disco, and then I found the trees. Lucky. Not me, but the Turkish. I forget the name. The winner of the 91 was with me in a car, and was down to see the signal going their way or another thing. But I'm looking on the left side, and I don't see the trees. Mi sono accorto, I see that when I stopped the car, and the trees was until the back side, the back seggiolini is forget. Sit, yeah. Sit, back seat.
Realize
Just because you like nature.
Yeah, and maybe it was the tree that moved in the middle, eh?
probably.
Maybe.
So Carlo, you were sitting on the left and driving. Was there anyone sitting on the right?
Maybe I'm dead.
Yeah. If you had been if you'd been right hand drive, then
cut.
Yeah,
I
but
put my
probably.
head in the back.
But if you drive on the right hand, probably you see the tree. So,
Maybe.
no.
I don't know. We can.
Camel Trophy is a
I'm
very
not sure.
safe, very safe.
Next
race.
time.
Next time, maybe.
okay.
I would like to add, sorry, Chris, that I don't know the others, but in our events, in the last day when we arrived in Pontianak, a couple of days of delay, because it was a tremendous delay that we got for car damages. I remember that Land Rover finished the spare parts of the half shaft. So only our car and some others have the car that works perfectly, but the majority have no have only traction in one axle. So for this, the last special task that we were very strong and very modest on the off-road driving was the task become very hard task. So the Russian guys that was a couple of meters tall was amazing and destroy our hope to recover the position, because they cancel all the trial, all the 4x4 driving. So it was a very disaster for the cars. A lot of rollover, because after days and days driving on the mud, at the first part of the asphalt of Tomat, the guys very often capsize the car. Maybe capsize is more sailing terms. I don't know, Rapi.
No, I don't know.
No, capsize or rollover makes sense.
Makes sense. Chris.
So I think, Gianpaolo, by mentioning capsize, you have brought us very well to Matteo, who has been very quiet for the last few minutes. But Matteo Poli, you participated in perhaps the most unusual and the biggest adventure of Camel Trophy, which was in the year 2000. And you didn't have to worry about Land Rovers breaking down or rolling over. So please introduce yourself and tell us all about your adventure in the Pacific.
Yeah, so I was part of the Italian team in 2000. It was a special event, as you mentioned. I was together with Nicoletta Nutrito. So we were a boy and a girl. And that was already interesting for Italy. I think it was the only time it happened in the Italian teams. And we did it in the Pacific Ocean. So it was not in the mud. We were sailing. We sailed around 1,000 miles, nautical miles, which is around 2,000 kilometers, a bit less. And we had this kind of Camel Trophy adventures, but in a completely different environment. So we did like this super long crossing between Tonga and Samoa. So we crossed the international line. We did this 340 nautical miles, one shot drive. And the funny thing is that I remember this crazy waves of the Pacific, where you were kind of sailing upwards. So you felt that you were going uphill for minutes, and then you were going downhill in the wave. And I still have this memory of like the speed you were taking, where you were on top of the waves and then sliding down. So it was, I mean, for me, it was a great experience. I was also part of the Italian team in '94. So I was selected for the international selections. In '94, I was 19, so I was really young. I had 1 year of driving license, so I guess that's one of the reasons why I was not selected. So I was barely driving, I think. But I mean, for the years after, I was always like a bit sad, because, you know, Camel Trophy is such an incredible adventure. And now hearing from my friends about what they lived, I completely remember the feeling of having missed that thing in '94. So when in 2000 I had the opportunity to do it again, and to do it in the sea, which is my kind of, I am a teacher of sailing boats. So for me it was like my field of operation. Was a great moment. And I have to say that beside friendship, which is a big part of the Camel. So like a couple of years ago, I was in South Africa and I just phoned Xavier. He was the South African guy in 2000, and we just, you know, I phoned him and we went out together for a night, etc. So friendship is a great thing. But the other thing I really learned is logistics. So let's say for me, a lot of what I've been doing afterwards somehow related to the experience of being in something that was so complicated to organize and to run, but at the end, somehow it went smoothly. So a big part is luck. I'm sure that Carlo agrees that when you're not hit by the trunk, it's luck. But there is a lot that you learn about how you organize people and how like a collective effort is better than individual effort and so on. So I'm working in Africa now as an architect. We work in Lesotho, we work in Congo, and every time I see this, I work with NGO, and every time we make buildings with people, with local people that for very different reasons somehow have a very kind of individual approach to problems, and you're able to teach how easy it is to pull a car in 10 people. I completely remember when I did the selections that we did this last task of pulling a car, and it was so easy because we were so many. So I think that's a big lesson for me that I still practice in my life. So I have to say it's one of those things that it remains inside of your experience, even if it's a month. For me, it was a month in the sea, but I still feel it's part of my background and is part of the things I use in my daily life. So in that sense, it's a great experience.
Matteo, if you had the choice of taking part in Camel Trophy in America in 1994 or Tonga, Samoa in year 2000, which one would you choose now? I
would probably go for 94. I'm honest. But I think that, as I said, in real life, 2000 was more useful, and for me was a bigger experience. But I definitely have this love for Land Rover. I own a 110, and I have 2 kids, and we travel like crazy with the car. So, I mean, we did a lot of traveling together, and I am definitely passionate about the cars. So I wouldn't be honest to say I wouldn't choose 94.
Well, thank you for your honesty. A little bit earlier, Paolo, I think, mentioned eating, the end of the day, eating his pasta after a long day. I just wondered, everybody, what was the food like, and what did you eat, and which nationality, which country had the best food?
Tutta l'Italia.
Italy.
I can say that, okay, we did a very, thanks to the Italian team organization that Francesco is a good representative, they propose a dry food that was good food, very practical. And so it was the bag that we have muesli in the morning, rice and different way for lunch and for dinner. And it was very easy to prepare because you have a vulcan now. It was a fantastic tool that in very few minutes you have water boiled, and you put the water in, you just like the food for cats and dogs, no? And was not very good, but very practical. And in a few seconds, you were ready. The funny story was that to save wage as much as possible, we Christian, we did some calculation, and was a big mistake because in the middle of the trip, we realized that we have missing of this bag because was not enough. So we start to finish we use, we can say, publicity, the Enervit bears. And so at one point we have to start to eat only one of this bag in the morning and only one for the rest of the day. So it was very, very tough. I lose 10 kilos, and was was really, and just one time we have time to do pasta, but was just one time, and we offered to other guys. But during our convoy, after the middle of the event, the convoy was splitted for the very heavy condition of the path.
Same as.
So we are lucky or not, I don't know, but we are in front of the convoy. So we opened the unexisting path, because it was the guy that did the pre-scouting was very, let's say, positive guy. So thinks, no, you can, from the helicopter, optimistic, yes, very optimistic. And say from the helicopter, from my, no, they can go there. And when we were on the place, was a completely disaster. Bridge doesn't exist. And so we built bridge like Roman. So it was very, very fantastic. For the food side, was a little bit tough.
For example, in 91, Camel Trophy must be in Himalaya. And the food, come no, Francesco?
No, it was cancelled in Himalaya.
Carlo?
Something for the Himalaya food. No, vabbè. Where is a little problem for the food in Tanzania?
Yeah, but all the Italian team, they always got a special reserve of Parmesan, of pasta, you know, something special to keep for the special moments. It's correct, no?
Yeah.
And just to give an answer to Gianpaolo, yes, of course. I have to remember you that there is a difference between holiday and Camel Trophy.
We ate pasta two times only in.
I remember we had.
What, Matteo?
I remember we had a special pasta e fagioli dry that was really good, but really good. We really loved it. And we had the little blocks of Parmesan in the.
I have to complain to Francesco because we didn't get it.
And we had the last in Malaysia. We sometimes we could buy some fruits on the road because we crossed a few villages, and so sometimes we had papaya, sometimes we had fruits. So we didn't lose too much weight.
Lucky.
Very lucky.
Lucky.
Oh, smart. And clever.
We found the salami on the tree.
I think I was the only one having fish during the Camel Trophy.
Yeah.
No, not the only one. I remember.
I remember just banana.
In Siberia was a lot of fish.
This is our picture at Pontianak at the end. I was 64 kilos and I start to 72. So you can see my daughters cannot realize that I say, who is him? It's a little bit underweight.
You was fit and healthy. What else?
Yeah, perfect. The Camel Trophy died.
This year are 30 years I made it to Camel Trophy, in 91. Are 30.
Yeah. Me too, 30 in 96.
I think Matteo was just showing us showing us a photo.
I want to show these are the effects of the Camel Trophy. Look at the face, tired and skinny.
Oh, tired. You look perfect.
I was done. This picture was taken at the last day before to drive to the hotel, and we were really over. No more power, no more nothing. We were diet. It was really time to go to sleep in a bed and eat something normal.
The last camp with a lot of frog. Do you remember, Matteo?
With a lot of
frog.
A frog.
Yeah.
Frog.
Yeah, big frogs and loud frogs.
Loud frog.
We should have tried if they were eatable.
Chris,
If you remember, we found some frogs also in the hotel last night. Did you remember?
Yes.
In the luggage of a
Yes, true. Yeah.
I think if you have lost 10 kilograms of weight in a few weeks, then
Sure.
you would be eating frogs by the end.
Not bad.
You just need Team France to tell you. You need the French to tell you how to cook them.
Yeah, but for the
Yes.
quantity, the French are not really, you know, they make a fantastic plate, but very little part of food. It's for specialists.
It's called nouvelle cuisine.
We are not so good. We need quantity also, but okay. But we talk always about the Land Rover. I would like to show to Matteo that also we did a lot of miles on the water. We did. We have to speak about our raft unit. We cross, I don't know how many rivers, but I would like to spend a few words about this raft unit. It was a very unbelievable design because it was very, very slow. We have a 220 horsepower engine, but we were very, very slow. And you imagine that this river was the rain season, so it was very full of water, and the stream was very powerful. So we spent really hours to do just 1 mile. So we did also our little boat trophy. So in '96.
Yeah. I mean, inventing solutions. I remember Aris Mikic. He was the photographer.
Was in my car.
Well, when we were in the sea, he had a bag of condoms, like an embarrassing amount of condoms. Like, why? And then we find out that he was packing his cameras in the condoms to avoid the sea stuff.
And films.
Good idea.
Very good idea. I actually used it.
Safe photograph,
Yeah.
safe camera.
Chris, tell us what's our timing. And
So thank you very much for
No.
speaking with us now. We've been going about an hour, and we will shortly have to come to a close. But I think Carlo wants to show us something. What's going on there, Carlo?
as I said, it's special. It's simply special.
A T-shirt is the same, and I have a photo. You can see a photo in '91 when I was on a Discovery. Is that
He is a very handsome man.
come si dice
Sei
manica?
bellino. Sleeve.
Leave. I'm 61 now. I'm nearly to 61 old.
And
Yeah.
you can still fit the same shirt.
This is new. I have another new. I use all the time. What? No, two.
I would like, please, tell to Rapi that he has our plate behind him, CT33.
Yes, it's true.
I know this.
No, that
Was
is
my-
that is not your number plate, Rappi.
No, there
is-
was no. There was the final plate for a kind of souvenir for everyone, for all the participants. Yes, and for me it was special because it was my last Camel Trophy. Because on the '97 I left the company, so I went to the international selection. I say ciao to everyone, and then I moved for another adventure. So Kalimantan for me is something special.
Grande Rapi.
Starting in '85 and then Kalimantan '96 was the last one. But
Rapi.
probably was the real last one, Camel Trophy.
It was the last one with you. So
Yes.
it was the last Camel Trophy.
For me, it
And
was the
you
last
have-
one.
And you have Gianpaolo's number plate to prove it.
Yeah, because when he saw us, says, "No, I have to change. I cannot say nothing better than them." So, and decide to stop.
Rapi, perhaps before we finish, I could ask you, because you may have been involved in some other events for the Camel brand. The Camel brand also sort of ran events with motorbikes, and I know you're very fond of motorbikes. And I wonder if the event with the motorbikes had the same spirit and the same feelings as the Camel Trophy, the proper
Yes,
Camel
yes.
Trophy did as well.
Absolutely, yes. So we are talking about a Camel marathon bike, born as a Camel Trophy bike. The event got the concept, exactly the concept and format of the Camel Trophy, but was done on a motorcycle with some Honda Dominator 650. The first edition, which was still called the Camel Trophy bike, was held in Mexico, in Baja California, in '86. And there was only for 2 Italian teams, a sort of test to then make it an international event. It was run by Camel Italia and had a great potential. The two editions that followed, the one in Zaire, the one and another one in Peru, were something very special and really unique. Perhaps too special. And so, on international level, it was decided to not do it again, probably to avoid an overlap with the four-wheeled event. This is correct. We are still talking about a promotional event. So what a pity from my point of view. However, even today, we still talk about that event. And I personally have a beautiful and unforgettable memories. Also for the Camel Trophy, but I'm bikers, so my passion, my heart is still in motorbikes. That was a great event.
And Carlo, I've seen pictures of you on motorbikes.
Yeah,
and I've seen pictures of you driving ambulances, and I've seen pictures of you, and I've heard stories of you driving in Fiat Pandas. I wonder what is where is the best adventure? Where do you find the most adventure? Is it in a Land Rover Discovery, on a motorbike, in an ambulance, or in a Fiat Panda?
All the things are different. The Discovery have a story, Panda have another story, ambulance is a true story. I don't like to drive because I must go to leave something broken. Maybe it's bad. The best thing maybe for me is a motorbike at the moment. At the moment is the bicycle. Yeah, but for the downhill, it's nice. But all the story are different. And if you want to make something with a winch or other, I use Disco. If I want to go far away, I use a Toyota. And if I want to use something on the snow or other thing, Panda. So,
well, I think maybe we will, with the Fiat Panda, we will draw things to a close while we go away and we plan maybe another adventure in yellow sand glow Fiat Pandas.
why not?
On our way to Tanzania with mountain bikes. So before we plan too much, I will say thank you very much to everyone from Team Italia. Thank you for being very generous with your time. Thank you for sharing the stories. And the next time we are together, we will share the stories around a campfire with a glass of Italian wine and some pasta.
We hope so very soon, Chris. Thank you very much to you
Thanks
for
a
the
lot.
opportunity.
So it just remains for me to say thank you very much, ciao, and e presto, and grazie.
Ciao, Chris. Thank you very
I'm
much.
reaching.
Ciao a tutti.
Ciao, Chris. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Well done.
Thank
Ciao
you.
Chris, grazie di
Ciao,
tutto.
ciao Chris, ciao a tutti.
Ciao a tutti.